Okay, good morning everybody. How are you today? I hope all of you in a good condition. And today is our second meeting in English class, and now let's talk about grammar. Mm, we will explore four of subtopic of grammar. We will see the simple present tense, simple past tense, present continuous tense, and past continuous tense. Okay, we move to the next page. When we talk about a grammar, the first thing we have to understand is about a subject-verb agreement. We know we have a subject. I know you remember well. In the subject we have I, he, she, it, you, they. And then next is to be. To be we have is, am, are. And then how we use subject and to be, it depend on the situation or depend on the time. Is it present or is it past? When the time is present, we use subject and to be. I am, he is, she is, it is, you are, and they are. And when in the past, we have to say I was, he was, she was, it was, you were, and they were. This is a subject verb agreement. I hope you can remember. This is very usual or very common, and this is the basic thing in English. And uh, let we see the pattern of simple present tense. For the first, you have to know when we use simple present tense. When we use it, simple present tense is used when an action is happening right now or when it happen regularly. So remember that when the activity is happen regularly, like every time, every night, every year, so this is a simple present tense we used. What is the pattern? Look at here in this green box. This is a subject and then verb 1 and object. I repeat it. Subject, verb 1 and object. And what verb used in the simple present tense? We use verb 1. You know, for verb 1 we have verb 1 with s and verb 1 without s. When we use verb 1 with s and without s, it depends on the subject or the number of subject. When the number of subject is single, we use verb with s. When the number of subject is more than one, we use verb without subject. So I will read this one, how we have to read, how we have to make a difference when we read verb 1 with s or without s is like this. Measure, measures. Inject, injects. Examine, examines. Go, goes. Bring, brings. Try, tries. And here is adverb of time. Uh, what is the adverb of time we use when you use simple present tense? You can use today, you can use at this time, you can use every day. For example, when the something happen every day, so you can say like I bike every day, like that. And then you can use every morning, twice a day, 3 times a week, and uh, etc. We can explore later. And then here is the example. We can, we will try to identify when we use verb with s and when we have to use verb without s. Look at here, when the subject is single, See, this is midwife, so only one midwife. You have to use s in the verb. And here, when the midwives, more than one midwife, you have to use verb without s. So I will read the example. The midwife examines pregnant woman in the hospital. And for the second one, the midwives examine pregnant woman in the hospital. Now, how if we want to change the sentence to be negative? When we want to change the example to be negative, we have to put not, of course, because this is the indicator of negative sentence. And when the verb with s, so we have to put does here. So I will read for you. The midwife doesn't examine pregnant woman in the hospital. What about the interrogative sentence? Just put does in front of the in front of the verb, and you eliminate the not, because this is interrogative, not the negative. So we don't need to put not in the interrogative sentence. So the sentence is, does the midwife examine pregnant woman in the hospital? And this is a yes no question, type of yes no question. So you only can answer yes or no without any more explanation. When you want to answer yes, so just say yes she does. And when you want to answer no, you can say no she doesn't, or no she does not. You can write no she doesn't like this, and no she does not, if you want not make an appreciate of it. Okay, and this is when we identify the subject is more than one. Remember, when the subject is more than one, you couldn't need to put examine with s. So the midwives examine pregnant woman in the hospital. And the negative form is the midwives do not examine pregnant woman in the hospital. Because the subject is more than one, you don't need to put does, you just need to. The midwife do not examine pregnant woman in the hospital. And the interrogative sentence, do the midwife examine pregnant woman in the hospital? And the answer, this is another yes no question. So just say yes they do, or no they don't, or no they do not. Look at here. You just need to move do in front of the subject and eliminate not for the interrogative sentence. Hope you can understand my explanation, and we move to other kind of grammar. This is a simple past tense. Again, we have to understand when we use it. Simple past tense used when an action is happening in the past and finish in the past as well. So the pattern here, you can see subject, verb to, and an object. What verb used in this simple past tense? Verb to. We remember there is a rule or regulation about verb to. Generally, verb to is construct of verb 1 plus ed. But we also have irregular verb 2 that is changed from the verb 1 to be verb 2, but not with adding ed over there. So look at this example. This is when the verb 1 become verb 2 by adding ed. So I will read for you. Measure, measured. This is verb 2. And then inject, injected. Injected is verb 2. Examine, examined. So examined, examined is verb 2. And this is the irregular verb. See, gone, not to be going, no, but go to be went, and then bring, change to be brought, and try to be tried. And what about the adverb of time? You can use yesterday, you can use last night, last year, 2 days ago, a minute ago. So you can say a years ago, for example, or 10 years ago, or last year, last night, or last week, or something related with adverb of time for the past situation. And here is the example. Look at this. This is verb 2 with verb 1 plus ed. There is no differences with the number of subject. Even the number of subject is 1 or the number of subject is more than 1, the verb is similar. It's verb 2, similar form. So for example here, the midwife examined pregnant woman in the hospital. And even the subject is more than 1, this is a similar kind of verb. The doctors measured patient's blood pressure. What about if you want to change to be negative sentence? Look at this example. The midwife examined pregnant woman in the hospital, and the negative change to be the midwife did not. You have to put did not. The midwife did not examine pregnant woman in the hospital. What is the interrogative? Put did in front of subject, and again eliminate the not, because this is interrogative, so you don't need to put not, because not is belong to negative sentence. So the interrogative here is, did the midwife examine pregnant woman in the hospital? And again, this is yes no question, so you can answer yes she did, or no she didn't, or you can write no she did not. What about the sample, another sample here? Another sample here, when the subject is more than 1 and it doesn't change anything regarding the verb agreement. So you can see here, the doctors measured patient blood pressure. What is the negative? Sorry. It should be the doctor didn't measure patient blood pressure. So you have to put did not here. Sorry about that. And then what is the interrogative? Did the doctors measured patient blood pressure? Look at the answer here. Yes, they did. And then no, they didn't, or no, they did not. So I underline here, when the subject is 1 or more than 1, the verb 2 is confirmed. I mean same verb. You use verb 2. Now, this is just a slide that I want to make you open your mind, that maybe now you are here, you are in Poltekkes Kemenkes Semarang, aren't you? But I hope, or I believe, sometime or sometime, or what we say, I mean in one time you will be here, for example, Australian Catholic University. This is my school or my university when I got my master degree. And then this is University of Amsterdam. I was here for my short training course, and this is Chiang Mai University in the Thailand. This is another place that I got some knowledge about the midwife here, about midwifery. Okay, let's skip to back to our topic. And we now in the present continuous tense. When we use present continuous tense, also called present progressive, it is a verb tense which used to show that ongoing action is happening now, ongoing action or action with a duration, that have a duration, that have a duration. So what is the pattern? Subject be is ma and verb ing, verb plus ing and an object. This is the example of verb ing. You can see here, we can say together: measure, measuring; examine, examining; inject, injecting; go, going; bring, bringing; and try, trying. And about the adverb of time, you can use now, today, right now, this afternoon, this morning, this year, for example. So just depend on the situation that you want to say. And here is the example. Look at this here. We use is because the midwife is one. See? And here we use are because the midwives here is more than one. So to be is depend on the number of subject. So I will read for you and you can read together with me. Yeah. The midwife is examining pregnant woman in the hospital. For the negative, the midwife is not examining pregnant woman in the hospital. And the interrogative, is the midwife examining pregnant woman in the hospital? When you want to answer yes, just say yes, she is. And when you want to answer no, just no, she isn't, or no, she is not. And the second here is the example when the subject is more than one. Midwife, now midwives. So the midwives are examining pregnant woman in the hospital. What is the negative sentence? The midwives are not examining pregnant woman in the hospital. What about the interrogative? Put are in front of the subject again. So are the midwife examining pregnant woman in the hospital? And the answer is yes, they are, or no, they are not. Or you can write down no, they are not. Something like that. And this is our last tenses for today meeting. We will talk about the past continuous tense. It also called past progressive tense. And when we use past continuous tense, is a verb tense which is used to show that ongoing past action was happening. So the pattern here is subject, and then be we use was or were, and then verb ing plus object. So the verb is similar with the present continuous tense. Like I write here. Okay, together we can read to trying pronoun well. Measure, measuring; examine, examining; inject, injecting; go, going; bring, bringing; try, trying. What adverb of time we can use is yesterday, last night, last year, 2 days ago, a minute ago. It quite similar with the past tense. And now is the example. The midwifery student was studying last night. The midwifery student wasn't studying last night. Was the midwifery student studying last night? Another yes no question here. Okay, and then the last, the midwifery student were, because student here is more than one, using were. So this is for the past. You can continue to uh, read by yourself and pronounce well. Okay, everybody, this is my explanation about grammar that content of simple uh, past tense, and then uh, continuous tense and past continuous tense. Past continuous tense. If you have still one more explanation, you can chat me in the WhatsApp, or you can ring me or something. So for today, have a good day for all of you. Thank you.